Very good evening and welcome to the India Development Debate. I'm Tamanna Inamdar. Now, the retail industry in India plans its annual strategy around the festive season, something that we have just pretty much finished on Diwali, October, November. That's when people like to splurge. There's a new calendar date now being marked. You may have, over the last few days, seen several ads pop up on your phone, on TV, in papers, on Black Friday sales. What is this Black Friday sales phenomenon? Why have Indian retailers jumped on this bandwagon? And will it really make a difference in a high inflation, low demand scenario? We're talking about that on the show. We're also explaining to you why this Western concept of sales has now become a hot trend in India. We're also taking you through the top stories of the day. But first, let's begin with what's trending tonight. Just shy of hitting those all-time highs, but a record close for Nifty. Nifty Bank and Sensex. Nifty surmounting the 18,500 levels, while Sensex climbs to 62,000 peak. Banks and metal stocks lead the gains. Oil prices extend their losses as fears of supply disruption ease. A greater than expected build-up in U.S. gasoline inventories add to the pressure. Brent crude is now below $85 per barrel. Can no longer be cabin crew at Air India with a receding hairline. If you're balding, Air India wants you to shave it off completely. Airline announces new norms for both male and female crew. New uniform guidelines issued, including the size of the bindi that female cabin crew members can wear. It's a mega ET Now exclusive. Bisleri clarifies to ET Now that they are in talks with the Tatas to sell stake as there's no heir interested in taking over the business. Ramesh Chauhan says they will never let the Bisleri brand die and are looking for a buyer that can nurture and grow the business. Also on the show, get ready to loosen those purse strings as the holiday season kicks off. The Black Friday sales are here. What are the best deals in town? And did Indian consumers sink in with Western trends? All that and more up ahead. And it's Thanksgiving in the United States today, and that means eager shoppers are waiting for Black Friday tomorrow. Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving when American consumers start shopping to accumulate gifts for Christmas in the US. Now, traditionally, that's the day when American retailers in the US come out with massive sales. There are huge queues around the block. Of course, online sales also come in, and which is why the name Black Friday. But it seems we're catching up to that trend. Data shows Indian shoppers have opened up to the trend in recent years, and retailers are offering massive discounts to welcome the shopping frenzy and boost sales. I'm going across now first to my colleague Vinny to talk about how Black Friday mania has gripped Indian retailers and what really is on offer.
And it's Thanksgiving today, and tomorrow is going to be the big Black Friday sale. I have already looked at the options that I'm going to shop, but what happens on the Black Friday sale is the day after Thanksgiving is a big sale that was actually held first in the US markets. Now it's come across the globes, and a lot of increase that we see coming in terms of sales on Black Friday sales. So you see it whether across heavy goods, consumer goods, and clothes, shoes, apparels, electronics, whatever you look at it, you see a sale across it. Let's look at some of the offers that we're seeing coming in India. One is Tata Click Luxury, where you see good offers coming in across luxury brands, global as well as Indian premium brands in Tata Luxury. Samsung too is giving us good offers in terms of sales, and their sales started on 24th of November, that's today, will be going on till 28th of November. Other than that, you have offers coming in from Chroma as well. Massive discounts actually coming in on Apple products, where you actually do not find much discounts coming in. So Apple products, you could get discounts coming in if you go to Chroma. Nykaa has given a twist to the name and called it the Pink Friday sale, and that is also there across their platforms. So from beauty products to clothes to shoes, on Nykaa platforms you will be seeing their sales going live as well. Reliance Digital too is starting their sales, and that is going to be starting tomorrow, 25th of November as well. So Reliance Digital is a place that you could go and shop as well. Plus other e-commerce platforms, whether Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, all of them have offers coming in on Black Friday sales as well. Now, which are the sales and products that actually do well? Starting from the top, clothing is the most one which has the most amount of demand. Moving on to shoes, cosmetics, jewelries, and then we have on the 5th place, we have electronics, which also sees a good demand. So yes, these are the products in the line that we see good demand coming in for. Let's look at the past trends coming in. There's a gradual increase that we've always seen coming in during sales, especially the Black Friday sales. There's a sharp jump that comes in terms of the sales and revenues during this period as well. Now, in terms of look at the estimated revenue that we've seen over the period of time in the US market as of now, that has also seen a sharp jump coming in. And across the globe, when you look at the time period, during this period of Black Friday sale, just in India, the sales increased by around 1,800 actually, if I'm seeing it right, 1,800 times percent more is what you're 800 times the percent more what you see in terms of the Indian sales increase just on Black Friday. Other than that, in the US markets also there's a sharp jump that you see in terms of sales coming in, and the average discount that is offered in the markets as a percentage is ranging in this. The US market 68%, while Indian market almost 48% discounts are what is offered in terms of sales. So an interesting day that everyone does watch out for, and Black Friday sale surely booms a lot of business for all these companies as well.
All right, so thanks for that, Vinny. Putting into context the Black Friday sale madness that's about to hit. Devangi Parekh Fashions with me on the show this evening. Akshay D'Souza of Bizom speaking with us. Pushpa Bector of DLF Retail on the show, and Kaushik Mukherjee of Sugar Cosmetics also joining us. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for speaking with us this evening on the India Development Debate. Ms. Bector, let me begin, with giving us a sense of how big it is this time, because like I mentioned in my opening comments as well, it's the festive season, which is the big event annually for Indian retailers, for malls, for stores, for online aggregators, etc. Why the focus on Black Friday?
Thank you for inviting me. See, what we have to understand is, especially in Delhi NCR, Black Friday also connotes the start of winters. So there is a fresh new merchandise that's there on the shelves, A. B, this time around, we noticed a very strong Diwali trend, much more strong than what we'd seen pre-COVID. We think that this time the Black Friday sale will be even better. The reason being, yes, the winter is already here, and so people will be having clothes to shop for, etc., etc. But beyond that, it's fresh merchandise. You're getting, say, a discount and a lot of freebies on that one particular weekend on fresh merchandise, and that attracts a lot of crowd. Usually for the July, etc., it is the end of season sale. And this Black Friday, I believe, is a great way to boost for the season. So the season starts for us in the malls business with Black Friday weekend, and it ends sometime around Valentine. That's the way we look at it. And we think that this time it's going to be far better than last, going by the trends. So far in October, we've already done 40% beyond pre-COVID sales. And we think that this Black Friday sale will be record-breaking for us. I'm sure you would have all seen the advertisement blitz that's going around, including our properties. So yes, we are very optimistic. From the categories point of view, we think that, of course, clothes would be number one. A close second would be beauty, and as well as electronics. Electronics have really done well. We do think that all these three categories are going to do rather well.
The question, though, is, and from our viewers' point of view, of course, all of those who have tuned in, consumers shopping, and I'll come to Devangi on this, how real are the sales? It seems there is a sale pretty much 365 days a year going on something or the other. Like they say that there's elections every year in India, there's a sale all the time. And some of these sales, and I'll put those in single inverted commas, just seem more like discounts than they actually are. Is the Black Friday offering real?
And thanks so much for having me. The Black Friday sale is typically one of the biggest events of the year for us. So that's after the big luxury sale, which is our end of season sale that we have twice a year on azafashions.com. We do the Black Friday sale every year, and it has been a huge event for us. because a large portion of our clients online come from the United States of America. But we are seeing year on year, as you rightly mentioned, that India is really catching on to the trend. So the sale begins about 1 week before Thanksgiving and extends to the day after Cyber Monday. And this year, we're already seeing a huge uptake in sales, both domestic as well as international. This follows the trend that we saw in Diwali as well. This year was the biggest Diwali. It was 100% growth from pre-COVID levels. So we're seeing the continuation of that trend. One of the reasons is that it is a huge wedding season this year. There's some 32 lakh weddings planned in India over the next 40 days alone. So people, and who doesn't love a good sale? So people are really loving the sales which are currently happening. It is more discounts than what you see on other parts of the year. I know that in e-commerce, there are sales happening sort of all the time and coupon codes and whatnot available. But the Black Friday sale, we always try to offer a little bit over and above. So for example, on our platform on nazafashions.com, we have 55,000 products, which go up to 70% off during this week. And we try and offer more things than usual, like a free gift and different coupon codes than you would usually see.
Okay. Akshay, let me come to you on why Black Friday sales have become such a big buzzword, and is it really in line with the kind of consumer trends that we're seeing? You and I had the opportunity of speaking during the Diwali season. We heard a lot of commentary on how the consumers seem to be back, but after that, inflation has continued to be a downer. We have seen layoffs, fears of global recession, etc. Is that not impacting this category of consumers who are being targeted by sales?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that you need to realize is consumption. There is a challenge, and inflation is a real thing. I mean, you cannot do away with the risk of consumption that is coming because of high inflation. The good news, though, is last 3 months is starting to taper down, and I think that's a positive sign. But if you look at the sale, right? I mean, by itself, Black Friday by itself. Now, India is, it's a great occasion to kind of create a consumption frenzy, right? So if you look at historically, India has done this, Big Bazaar very popularly did this Sabse Saste Saat Din or whatever they had during the Independence Day, which then eventually evolved into an Independence Day sale. So they created that festive kind of sale season for Independence Day. We see Google at some point, along with a lot of partners, which got taken over by Flipkart, eventually started doing the big billion day sale. I mean, from an India perspective, that became very, very popular. Now, when you look at creating those occasions to consume, Black Friday is very Americanized and Singles Day is very Chinese, right? The 11/11 sale. You will increasingly see retailers latching on to these concepts and ideas just so that you can drive consumption. And I think that's a really good thing because especially at a time when we are not having consumption the way we would probably expect it to happen, this actually throttles the whole engine and says, okay, can we reset it again through this, through the sales season? And India being very value conscious consumer, I think it's a great occasion to kind of create this whole thing. Because earlier, the only people who used to kind of create occasions were somebody like Archie's, right? Those cards. They have created 100 days for you to kind of go and buy Archie's cards. But now, as a retail community, I think this is a great opportunity for you to actually throttle the whole system and drive consumption again.
Okay, so the sort of push seems to be that you will be getting the same products at a lower price. So buy now instead of later. Kaushik, let me come to you. And Akshay talked about the impact of consumer demand being hit, the impact of inflation, etc. Typically, cosmetics are the first to get hit. They're a discretionary item. People might reduce the number of things they want to buy. Are you seeing any of that at all?
So thank you for having us on the show. I think what Akshay mentioned is true. Inflation is real. And we are seeing the numbers trend at 6.5% this year. But the good news is that if forecasts are to believe, it's going to ease down to 5.8 and hopefully 5% over the next 2 quarters. So we've actually the number 40%, which Pushpa mentioned, it was actually pretty much spot on what we have seen. And we must understand something. I know fashion probably is slightly even more shop more fanatically than cosmetics, but this Q3 lends itself very, very well to all the festivity that happens. I mean, you start with Karwa Chauth, Diwali, Durga Puja, and Dashera, and you know that it's going to carry on after November to Christmas, New Year's, and on to Valentine's Day. So if you ask, go back to Black Friday, it's a marketer's dream. Because see, November historically has posed a bit of a challenge for all brands. Firstly, because it has 30 days instead of 31. So that's a 1 day less of sale. And secondly, there is no high volume event. We could have had earlier, we used to have Big Billion Days and the Great Indian Festival in November, but then e-commerce platforms became smart and said, let's get the share of the wallet before the wallet runs dry. So what do we do about November? But with, as you said, the China-inspired Singles Day, and now the Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend, I think India has always been a very deal-happy market. So it gives us all brands when we look at our sales, we've not, seen the kind of, hit we had for last year's when people were still tentative. I think there's a bit of pent-up demand that we are still seeing trickling in. And more than the basket size, if we go a step above and we say our footfall's happening, because that's window shopping matters before actual shopping happens. And I can tell you from the crowd in the malls, people are out to window shop. And if they're out to window shop, it's just a matter of time before they're drawn in and then they shop. So I agree with the sentiments echoed.
Conversion like, Kaushik, what is that conversion like between window shopping? And I'll come to Pushpa also on that question. But first to you, what is that conversion like from window shopping to actually going out and buying? And that too, are they going in for the lower ticket items, that whole lipstick index? When things go bad, you go and buy a lipstick because it's cheaper and at least you feel like you bought something. Are you seeing that kick in?
So it's actually very interesting you mentioned that. They're actually not asking for the cheapest item, but they are flat out asking for, is there a deal or is there an offer? Earlier, that used to be the third or fourth statement being asked. Now that's the first question that, okay, is there something on? Hence, we will walk into the store. So we've also had to reorient a lot of our communication around that. The only one other thing I'd say is this season is also a massive, not just for discounts, but also value and gifts you give as freebies. So especially in our beauty and cosmetics category, Cruzo boxes, wedding, gifting items, trays, they're very, very huge. So as long as people see value for money, the India story is still playing out the way we hoped it would play out in this quarter.
Pushpa, let me come to you with that concept of window shopping and footfalls getting converted to actual buys. Are you seeing those metrics improving, or are you now beginning to see the impact of inflation, a little bit of cautiousness on the consumer side?
Really, so far, if I look at the first 7 months of sales, and specifically from October, this quarter 3, what we are seeing is the footfall has resurged back 5% below pre-COVID levels. However, the spend per footfall has become 150% of pre-COVID level, which means I'm getting less number of people who are just window shopping. We have people, and I always say that COVID has taught that people discover digitally, plan their shopping better, and come in and shop physically in a much more targeted manner. And we are seeing this across the board in our portfolio, be it luxury, which of course does extremely well through COVID and otherwise. But otherwise, even the premium shopping spaces, what we are really seeing is the spend per footfall has actually become much higher. And we do think that there's also maturing of the Indian consumer. Today, we must not forget that we are all, yes, we are talking about inflation, but we are also out of a 2-year pandemic where we all sort of I can see consumers looking at life a little differently, the way they shop a little differently, and the way they spend their money quite differently from how they used to pre-COVID. And that is what we're seeing in quarter
Pushpa,
3.
can you elaborate on that?
Let me elaborate that. So food and beverage used to be only having a certain category and percentage of conversion. Today, food and beverage, people want to be communicating with their friends, their family, have events far more. So we are seeing F&B resurging in a big way. We also see people really go out when it comes to clothes and wedding planning. You must understand that the weddings for the last 2 years has been very muted, and small weddings were really in fashion. Now the big fat wedding is really out there for everyone to see. People are enjoying life. And I do believe that the consumer sentiment today is you only will live once and let's live well. So I think that's really the resounding sentiment that I see for the quarter, which is actually superseding the inflationary pressures of years.
Devangi, that same question to you. And fashion, clothes continue to be the best performers. We've shown that in our data as well. Are you seeing that relativity where the lower ticket items are doing better? Or are
No,
you seeing
actually,
revenge demand still continuing?
we're seeing revenge demand for sure. As Pushpa rightly mentioned, the spend per customer has gone up similarly by around 100, like it's now 1.5x of what it was. So we focus a lot on occasion wear and wedding wear specifically. And now weddings no longer want to be minimal. There was this huge phase where weddings were super minimal, very intimate. And now people have gone in the complete opposite direction where OTT is in, the bling is in, they really want to go all out and celebrate as much as they can. There's a whole carpe diem mentality where you only live once, like we need to celebrate our special occasions to the max. So we're actually seeing like weddings where there's 7-8 functions at least. People want to really vary their outfits and they're buying a lot more for these special occasions. This Diwali as well, we saw people celebrate for 2 to 3 weeks almost. Like there were people coming in for parties throughout the month. And it's nice in a way because people are getting that chance to sort of release the pent up celebration feeling that they wanted to have for the last 2 years.
Akshay, I asked this question earlier to Devangi. Let me ask you: are these sales real? Is there any way of knowing?
It's more a marketer's dream. I mean, I can kind of agree with that, right? I think you need to create these occasions at times.
Yeah.
How real it is, you will only know after sales numbers come out. But I think the effort.
Are the discounts?
Is
are the discounts real?
Yeah, I think there is a definite effort, right? I think in discretionary products there is a challenge in terms of sales as we built up to this whole festival season. There is a challenge, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but I think
are your discounts real on your sales?
Whatever discounts
or is it a markup and then a little discount?
No. Those days are far gone because I remember a few brands that had actually tried doing that earlier. They were mercilessly called out on social media, rightfully so. I don't think anybody takes that kind of risk with the brand anymore.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't. If
yes,
people are going to come out and spend, that marketing glitz is fine. It has to be backed by actual discounts and offers. If any of you watching this are spotting any sort of fake sales or fake discount promises, do let us know on our social media while we all prepare to make the most of Black Friday. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us on this show today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.